the opposing hitter's lucky, but it's that good combo mix and velocity that's made Sarah Willis so good.
Knights in their Citronaut jerseys. Sit back and enjoy. Big 12 now, ESPN Plus. Knights and the Sooners. And the first pitch to Jada Coleman is a strike, and it's 0-1 the count. To Coleman hitting .429 with 11 homers, 37 RBIs. That 11th homer came last night in the third inning. Sooners are in their white tops with the red pants and helmets and numbers. Willis, Knights of the Citronaut Space U jerseys, which they've worn on Saturdays this year. That's missed for a ball. 1-1 the count. Kevin Condor is your home plate umpire today with Steve Gold at first and Tom Meyer at third. There are some clouds, overcast. Definitely some wind, because we're feeling it on the press box. 1-1. Off speed. There's the changeups missed there for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Here's a look at the last pitch.
And Sarah Willis trying to establish off the plate early in this ball game, and I don't blame her. We see her going back-to-back in that changeup, a couple of pitches, trying to establish a zone and get the call going in her favor.
The 2-1 pitch. It's 3-1, and that's a very lively crowd. It is sold out. A lot of Knight fans, a lot of Sooner fans, and they get very vocal. Of course, this was a very expensive ticket, senior weekend. Willis down in the count, 3-1 here against Coleman. There's the changeup, it's 3-2. That's going to be a key pitch today for Willis to have success against this Sooner offense.
That pitch is so good, just going to float right through the zone there. Going to come in right at the belt buckle, too. You see Jada Coleman thought it was the ball. She's almost surprised, too.
Payoff pitch. It's a slow ground to second. Samantha Ray with a flip to first. They get the out on Coleman, who reached on an infield hit yesterday that started that 5-run Sooner inning, but Ray makes the play for the first out.
Samantha Ray doing a great job here, crashing in. She knows the speed of Coleman down the line. Again, recognizing it, getting rid of the ball.
Tiari Jennings to hit now. Wind's blowing out a little bit right to left. Jennings swings, fouls it off to the right side, but it is windy. In fact, our backdrop, which we put it down on the floor, just got itself up. It's unbelievable. I've never seen that happen before, so this could be a fun adventure. 0-1 the count to Jennings, who was hitless last night. Has 89 career home runs, 298 career RBIs, 294 hits in her career. 6 away from that 300-hit milestone. Will become her 4th Sooner to get that mark. There's the win. 13 miles. Wacky is a very underestimated word. It feels more than 13, but it is definitely gusty.
I was going to say, I feel like it should be like wild winds.
Wild winds. That could be in play later. A ball and a strike to count to Jennings. And fouls it back, 1-2. Jennings, of course, a 3-time All-American. Her next RBI would tie her with Stacy Newman for 6th place all-time in Division I softball history. Willis ahead, 1-2. Got a piece of it there as Jennings to stay alive.
Getting Tiari Jennings out yesterday was so big for the UCF pitching staff. She was 0 for 4 in yesterday's game. Again, such a big bat for this OU offense, trying to keep her production to a minimum.
A ball and 2 strikes. Got her. Willis with the strikeout of Jennings for the 2nd out here in the 1st inning.
Sarah Willis spinning this one so well. Good little velo there, too, behind that pitch, a little off the plate. When you can start back of their mind, the stuff that's firm in the zone is going to come a bit more by surprise.
Cassidy Pickering now at the plate. The freshman who was on the top 25 Freshman of the Year finalist list that was announced Thursday. Swings to the first pitch and hits it foul to the right side. Of course, Willis came from Washington, won the American Conference Pitcher of the Year last year, led the Knights to the American Conference Tournament Championship. in Tampa, where she pitched in all 3 games, was the tournament MVP, was Big 12 all preseason this year, and was the first night to win Big 12 Pitcher of the Week 2 weeks ago.
I mean, Eric, you know you're good when you're a freshman and you break this starting lineup, let alone get the 3rd spot in the batting order.
Yeah, Pickering's tremendous. Her and Ella Parker in that top 25 finalist. Going against Willis. Count is 1-1. Basically standing room only here at the Plex. They counted last night the 842 people that are literally in the stands. That does not include the outfield, which is super packed. 1-1. That's inside for, high a little bit, 2-1.
I feel like there might have been another 842 out behind the fence yesterday, Eric, but this one just going to float in. Kind of wonder where that ball's missing, but hey, who are we to judge from up here and get paid the big
Well,
bucks?
this crowd's into it from every pitch. They were into it last night as well. Two-one pitch. It's a slow grounder to second. Ray to first. And a 1-2-3 inning for Willis and the Knights here in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the Frights offense, hitting .313 on the year, 33rd in the country in hitting. It'll be Katie Birds to lead it off. Stormy Kotzelnick, the DP, hit second. Jada Cody, the senior, super senior, hitting 3rd at third base. Chloe Evans, who hit a home run last night, hitting cleanup. Ashley Griffin at catching, hitting 5th. Shannon Doherty batting 6th. The freshman, Samantha Ray, hitting 7th, with Sarah Willis batting 8th, and Jasmine Williams, the senior, hitting 9th for the Knights. They will face the sophomore, Kirsten Deal, the reigning Big 12 Pitcher of the Week.
And hey, I think that we were kind of guessing that we might see Deal on Sunday, but hey, when you're feeling good, just keep putting her in the game, and I think that's what Coach Gasso is going to be doing here today. Let her get the exposure.
She delivers a first pitch low for a ball to Katie Birds, the senior from Miami, Florida, hitting .323, making her 10th start of the year. Against the sophomore Deal, who was the #1 player coming out of high school, according to all the recruiting rankings that you would look. Count is 1-1 to Bird, who, of course, plays with the Great Britain national team. In fact, played against her head coach, Cindy Ball Malone, last summer when the U.S. and England and Great Britain played in Ireland in the World Cup. As Birds grounds out, as Howell makes the play. 2 up, 2 down, or excuse me, 1 up, 1 out, down here in the first inning. And we got some misty rain now coming in here with Stormy Kotzelnick. There are some gray clouds, so we hope it's nothing serious as Kotzelnick will hit, but the wind has been a factor, and it's definitely getting a little misty rain. Different weather than yesterday when it was perfect. Now Kotzelnick swings the first pitch, and it's 0-1 the count to Kotzelnick.
And Eric, you talked a little bit about just some of the accolades that Kirsten Deal had in the last week, but also just some of the success that she's had the last couple of months. But right now, Coach Gasso says that she's just so confident and intentional with every single pitch that she's throwing in the circle. She's going to mix her speeds really well, but she too has a changeup, and it's going to be one of her best pitches that she'll go on in any count.
It's hit the first foul with Sanders fielding in foul territory. The count is 0-2 to Stormy. Hitting .257, 2 homers, 15 RBIs against Deal. The sophomore, her hometown in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Deal delivers dealing there outside for a ball, 1-2. Defensively for the Sooners, you got Sanders at first, Howell at second, Jennings at short, Brito at third, with Hanson catching, with Coleman at center field, with Pickering at left today, and Boone at right field. 1-2. Got her, went upstairs, does Deal, and gets Stormy for the second out here in the first inning.
And we saw UCF hitters expand their strike zone yesterday. This is not what we want to see right there. That pitch well out of the zone, getting the strikeout is Deal, but you rein it back in, not overswing, stay within themselves, and keep their good strike zone.
Jada Cody, the super senior from Murrieta, California, steps in. Look at her numbers this season. Takes the strike. It's 0-1 the count to Cody. Had a couple of hits last night. She's now up to 255 career hits, 3rd most in UCF softball history, behind only Janae Shidhoster at 268 That pitch is outside. And who do you think has the all-time career hits record at UCF, Alex?
If I had to guess, I would guess Stephanie Best.
Yes. You know, you've nailed that trivia question every time this year. Congrats.
Too funny.
285 for the Hall of Famer. Ball and a strike to count. To Jada Cody. Good pitch there from Deal to get ahead of Cody.
Kirsten Deal just doing a good job keeping that pitch off the plate. See the umpire expanding that strike zone a bit on the outside corner to right-handed hitters. We'll see if he can do that on the left side as well. Tough pitch.
1-2. That's outside, 2-2. Jada Cody. As decorated of a UCF softball player as you will find. First ever UCF player to play the U.S. national team. She's done that in the last 2 years. Was an All-American at 22, according to D1 Softball All-American. Takes the ball there. And of course, this year was the recipient of the Order of Pegasus, going to the highest honor of any UCF student. Is the all-time leader in career doubles with 53. And if she doesn't hold the record, it's usually Stephanie Best. They're 1-2 in a lot of the bios there in the record books. The payoff pitch. And Cody lines the first. The catch is made by Sanders as Deal retires the Knights in order here in the first. We're through one here in Orlando. No score.
Geico makes car insurance easy.
Get a bye into the quarterfinals. If you'd finish 7th or worse, you're going to have to play Wednesday night in the opening round of the Big 12 tournament in Oklahoma City. Kinsey Hansen to lead it off here against Willis. Swings first pitch deep to short. Williams is there. Throw to first in time to get Hansen on the ground out. One pitch, one out here in the second inning.
Not a bad piece of hitting there. For a second, I thought it might get through the 5-6 hole, just knowing where Jazz Williams plays, which tends smooth. Good play.
Ella Parker now at the plate. Freshman from Los Angeles, also on the top 25 finalist for Freshman of the Year nationally. Taking a ball. Of course, those Big 12 standings, the Big 12 tournament in Oklahoma City, the site of the Women's College World Series, the same stadium, Hall of Fame Stadium. With a count of 1-0. The Big 12 championship game this year will be on prime time on ESPN2 on Saturday night, May 11th. Here's the last pitch.
A nice pitch from Sarah Willis. Trying to stay on the outside part of the plate. Don't blame her. Don't want to put anything too close to the hitting zone.
1-1. Grounded to short. Williams again will throw to first in time. Parker retired. 6-3 ground out. 2 up, 2 down here in the second. Another ground out. Williams, of course, such a splendid shortstop. Set the program record last year, being involved in turning 19 double plays for a shortstop. Had the second best fielding percentage by any Knights shortstop all time, behind only Brittany Solis in 2017. Also the second fewest errors by a shortstop in a season behind Solis in 17. A swing and a miss here by Brito. Alyssa Brito, the senior, hitting .428. 16 homers, 48 RBIs. Hit her 16th homer in the first inning last night. The 0-1. Low in the dirt. But I mentioned the Big 12 title game in prime time, May 11th on ESPN2, 7:30 Eastern. Getting the prime time slot. And of course, all the other games will be airing on ESPN Plus, all from the Hall of Fame Stadium. UCF will get to play at the Hall of Fame Stadium for the first time. Alex, you've played there. That's a pretty cool place to play. Not a bad moment for this program. Another documented moment historically when they get to the Big 12 tournament.
Well, the atmosphere in Oklahoma City is really what makes it so special. I mean, the fan engagement and just the large crowds, of course, are so cool. I think you top off at almost 8,000 people in the stands around you, but really it's just the whole aura and vibe of the stadium itself. Can't beat it.
Willis down in the count, 2-1 here to Brito. There's that changeup. That's going to be the key. that weapon that Willis has, evens the count at 2-2.
That pitch is so good. Look at how it's just going to freeze the OU hitters. It's so slow, it's hard to regather yourself and try to get your swing off because you know you want to put a quality swing on that pitch. Nice spot.
Two. Got her. Second strikeout of the game for Willis and retires the Sooners in order here in the second. Big
Ball game, of course, UCF still going down in that 10-8 victory for the Sooners, but just the late life, the offensive adjustments throughout the game is, I think, what Coach Ball Malone should be most proud of. However, I know she was frustrated.
There's a bunt attempt. That's going to be a hit. An infield hit for Chloe Evans. As Brito bumped into Deal, nothing that either Brito or Deal could do. It's a perfectly executed bunt single for Chloe Evans.
No reason to be frustrated here. That one just perfectly placed right back to the pitcher, but you have Alyssa Brito crashing in, trying to make the play. Obviously, just trying to stay on your feet.
So Chloe Evans gets on. She had a couple hits yesterday, double and a homer, drove in both runs, and I think you and I felt really good about how her swing looked last night. That could carry over. As now Ashley Griffin will come to the plate. She squares to bunt, bunts it foul down the first base side. First, Chloe Evans. In case you wondered, last night, her mom, aunt, and grandma missed the game. They were in an 8-hour delay in a flight. They are here today, and they provided you, Alex, and me with some of the dessert. There she is right there. There's the aunt, Crystal. The husband next to there, of course. Got the visor look. Notice all the Chloe Evans family members have unique hats and wear, and they know fashion.
It must be something with
There's the dad.
The headgear.
Next to Nick, longtime UCF fan. Great to see him there. There's Crystal, the aunt, making the trip all the way from the Midwest. The Minnesota, Wisconsin area. A lot of family members, as you would expect on senior weekend. 1-1 count to Griffin. Low 2-1 to Kim. But your eyes open when you saw the candy, the dessert that they brought here.
I know. I was like, oh, what is this? Whose is this?
2-1 the count to the redshirt sophomore Griffin here. So the Knights getting the first hit. There's Cindy Ball Malone, who felt like, hey, let's play to our potential. Was not happy with some of the miscues early on in the game that really assisted Oklahoma. She's like, they're really good. We don't need to help them. Wants them to get off to better starts. I know that's something you've kind of agreed with her on that. 2-1 pitch, runner went. Griffin hits a fly ball to right, but playable. Boone makes the catch. Chloe goes back to first base as Griffin is retired on the fly out to right.
And you see the approach there. Griffin trying to hit the ball the other way. Good situational stuff going on for UCF, and that's what Coach Ball Malone is going to want to see, is just the thought process and the intention going into every single at-bat. When you can go into your at-bats and have a plan, more often than not, you're going to find quality plate appearances from your hitters.
Shannon Doherty at the plate. Takes ball one outside. Doherty had a hit last night. Hitting .295, 3 homers, 26 RBIs for Doherty, who is down to her last 2 home games of her legendary Knights career. Her and Jada Cody came in together in the fall of 19, were part of that 2020 team. Got that extra year after everybody lost that 2020 season. And has had an incredible career. Part of 3 NCAA tournament appearances, a couple of conference tournament championships, conference regular season title, and of course a regional championship here hosting Orlando, which she predicted in 2022. She's ahead of the count here, 2-0 against Deal. She takes a ball. That year in 2022, UCF was scheduled to host the American Conference Championship here, but once the news came out that UCF officially was going to the Big 12, the conference took it away, and Shannon Doherty texted Coach Ball Malone and her players, they could take it away from us hosting a conference tournament, but they can't take away us hosting a regional. That was the goal from that point on, and they did. They hosted the regional.
I love it, the way that they can spin that whole situation into some positive moments and opportunistic times. It's good leadership from a young age as well.
That's why she's been a captain here throughout her career. An Order of Pegasus winner recipient a year ago, ahead of the count, 3-1. Tries to bunt and does, and it'll go foul. So interesting, the Knights going a little small ball here in this inning, Alex, against the Sooners.
I like it. Just try to mix it up a little bit. You know, it doesn't always have to be the long ball. It can be this short game and situational opportunities as well. But right now, I think more than anything is Coach Ball Malone wants to see the pressure get put on the defense as opposed to always feeling like it's on us as the hitters to try to come through.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Doherty. Payoff pitch. Doherty hits a high fly ball to left, but it's playable. Pickering will make the catch for the second out of the inning as Doherty is retired. Going to bring up Samantha Ray through the plate. The freshman will step in. Getting the start, the freshman out of Salinas, California, who's travel ball teammate with Tiari Jennings. The families are very close. Not sure if they're all here today, but certainly they stay in touch. Right here to hit with 1 on, 2 out. Takes a ball 1. We saw moments ago, Coach Ball Malone there was with Shannon Sale. Of course, who's the Knights GA and is, of course, the former Sooner. There's a meeting there as Jen Rocha, the pitching coach for Oklahoma, will come out. You see Coach Ball Malone. Talked to her team yesterday. Talked about, look, don't depend. Oklahoma is not going to give you momentum. You've got to take the momentum from them, she said yesterday.
You have to. You want to be in the driver's seat and control your own destiny. You don't want everything to be indicative of what your opponent is doing and leave it all up to them.
There is Shannon Sale, was part of the national championship Oklahoma team in 2021. Was also there, 19 in the championship. As she walked into the complex today, Alex, she was swarmed by all the Oklahoma fans that were cheering for her, wanting some autographs. In fact, there was a young 11-year-old young lady who's here who asked for her autograph. She's been well loved by the Sooner fans and now loved by Knight fans here with her contributions in the staff.
And that's awesome. And Coach Gasso just kind of said that she's really infectious. She has that attitude that people gravitate towards her.
Ray hits one to center, but Coleman making the catch. A vintage Jada Coleman catch at center field. She's done it throughout her career and ends the Knights' threat in the second. We are scoreless through 2 here in Orlando. For the third, and here it is, Alex, our final installment of Pooch Picks 2024.
Don't remind me, but look at Penny just going to be spending the afternoon with us. Penny the Pooch. Keep sending through your favorite dog pictures. I guess we have extended, though, the invitation to not just dogs. You can send your furry friends. We've had some cats. A cow, I think, was the most interesting animal.
That was over in baseball. Y'all had different rules in baseball there. Cindy Sanders to lead it off. Swings and misses. The count is 0-1. Of course, we had a dog in the booth here last night. Of course, this is myself and Alex's last broadcast of the season here. Our friends Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton Hill will be on this very booth tomorrow, calling the final game of this series on ESPNU, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's grounded foul, down to third base. So don't add Alex tomorrow if you don't hear our voices tomorrow. But you can still send her Pooch Picks. You can still send her picture, you know, if you want. And you can do a social media version of Pooch Picks, Alex.
I feel like, absolutely. I feel like it's still a thing.
You and Scarborough are into it. 0-2 the count to Sanders. Willis delivers. It's a ball. 1-2 the count. Of course, you're going to be part of the ACC Network's coverage of the ACC tournament in Durham with our friend Brittany McKinney. Maybe you convince Britt and the staff there to bring Pooch Picks. Maybe we can negotiate that with Lucas and Major to see if they allow the rights to that. Maybe borrow it for the ACC tournament.
Maybe we can start planting some seeds.
1-2. Sanders hits a high fly ball to left, but playable. Burge makes the catch. And Sanders flies out for the first out here in the third inning. It's 1 gone. Got to bring up Avery Howell, the sophomore, hitting .308 with no homers and 8 RBIs on the season. Avery Hodge, excuse me. I was thinking of Avery Howell, with my producer for the solo broadcast. The talented Howell of the family. First pitch. is for a ball, who helped contribute and surprise me on the Wednesday broadcast with the video tributes to me on my 600th broadcast. It's very well played there. So Hodge at the plate, the sophomore. It's Willis. Delivers there, and it's missed. 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes to count. I think at least if you use Pooch Picks at the ACC tournament, just give us a shout out. You know, just give us a shout out. That's where it started. You just say, hey, this started at UCF. My broadcast partner, Eric, allowed it, and we're always very grateful. And we don't have to go in those terms. 2 balls, no strikes to Hodge. It's a strike, 2-1. The count to Avery Hodge.
A good spot right there. That changeup just so slow coming in through the zone. And that's the thing about Sarah Willis, too, is she will throw it in any count. Doesn't matter if she's ahead, behind. You've always got to stay ready.
The 2-1 pitch. There it is, swing and a miss. Pulling the strings there. It's tough for a hitter.
Back-to-back changeups, just so nasty. Again, we're going to talk about how it floats through the zone. And you see Hodge recognizes it, identifying it, swing, just punching it right back up the middle. Still just a tad early.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Willis as she gets Hodge for the 2nd out here in the 3rd.
Sarah Willis is going to go back-to-back changeups and then come firm in the zone, just painting the outside corner. You see she's Fire Willis.
Riley Boone, the senior, hitting .418 with a homer and 21 RBIs out of Owasso, Oklahoma. Steps in. Lefty hitter takes ball 1, 1-0 the count. Boone, part of this decorated senior class for the Sooners that's going for a 4-peat. That's never been done before in Division I softball history. Not a bad career. 3 years, 3 national titles.
I'd say that's pretty good.
3 Big 12 titles, regular season titles to boot. 1-0. Bunt foul. Sooners coming in 43-4, ahead of the Big 12, 11 straight Big 12 titles. They're a game up on Texas. But as Patty Gasso told us, Alex, it's uncharted, territory. Nobody's ever gone through trying to go a 4-peat, at least in the recent era. Ball and a strike to count to Boone. It's a grounder to short. Williams is there. And a 1-2-3 3rd inning for Willis, who's retired 9 Sooners out of 9. We head to reminder, final game of this series between the Sooners and the Knights on senior night, Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. It'll be on televised on ESPNU as well as on ESPN app. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill will be right here calling the game for you. Senior night, 11 Knight seniors will be honored in their final home game at the complex. One of them being Sarah Willis, who leads it off here against Kirsten Deal. Takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Willis, Jasmine Williams, and Katie Burge, the 3 seniors, 3 of them to hit here, 8-9-1 against Kirsten Deal. Here in the bottom of the 3rd, no runs, a hit, no errors for UCF. No runs, no hits, no errors for Oklahoma. The 0-1 from Deal to Willis, swing and a miss. To Willis, who's hitting .320 on the year. You remember your senior night, senior day?
Of course I do.
How was it? Emotional?
Emotional, so emotional. I feel like that's the hardest part about going on throughout your career. The older you get, you know that time is no longer just kind of compiling behind you and everything else. It's dwindling down, becoming less and less.
Willis hits a fly ball to right. Boone is under it, makes the catch for the 1st out here in the 3rd inning as Willis is retired. Got to bring up Jazz Williams to the plate. We talked about her career and being here at UCF with Andrea Adelson at ESPN with an article that came out yesterday. How do you focus as a player when it's senior weekend in your last home series? And you see the husband for Jazz Williams there. I'm sure the baby boy somewhere around just ran off, of course, right as the camera shot went there. He knew it. He's camera shot. But how do you stay focused? There's so many family members here for all the seniors. And it's like a festive deal, but there's games to be played and focus there. It's unique.
Well, you know that you have goals, and you keep those end goals in mind about what it is that you want to accomplish and the mission that you're on. And I feel like sometimes that's the only thing that keeps us in that present moment.
Ball and a strike here to Williams. See some of the fans out here. A ball and a strike deal. And of course, senior weekends are always emotional, but I think especially for both of these programs, Oklahoma will go through this next weekend at Bedlam, but these are two decorated senior classes, maybe the best in the history of both respective programs. So that makes it even more emotional because they've meant so much to the program. The 1-2, Williams, did she hold her swing? She did, according to the first base umpire, Steve Gold.
It's always a tough one to call that, whether or not the hitter is going to break the path as to what constitutes a swing or not.
Williams on the 2-2 grounder. Nice play by Jennings, throws to first in time. As Tiare Jennings makes the play, 6-3 ground out for the second out of the inning.
And Tiare Jennings is so good at how she's going to come in and crash, getting that second hop on the short hop there. She's only able to do that because...
At shortstop, remember, moved to the shortstop position at the start of the year with the graduation of Grace Lyons, moved from second to short. As Burge hits it foul down the first base side. And that was a big question going to the season for Oklahoma, was the shortstop position because of how great Grace Lyons was. Talking to JT Gasso before the year, they thought about all their options and they decided to go with Jennings.
OU is just a team that has so much depth as well, to even be able to ask yourself that question and have some viable options as to who you might go to says a lot about their program.
It's a bunt attempt, foul by Burge, and it's 0-2. Yeah, Avery Hodge was in the mix. Torres was in the mix. They even considered Jada Coleman there, but went with Jennings to move from second to short. Of course, Oklahoma #1 defensively. That's something that Patty Gasso has been a trademark of a Patty Gasso coach team, is that defense, which was uncharacteristically had 3 errors yesterday. Was not happy about that last night as Spurs swings and misses as Deal is dealing so far through the first 3, giving up just the 1 hit for the Knights. We are through 3 here at the complex. No score between the Sooners and the Knights.
I'm a guy.
So far 3 shutout innings. What have you seen from her?
Command, control, working hard, getting strikes early. Yep.
And Coach, what do you want to see from your hitters adjustment-wise off of Sarah Willis?
This is hard. This is really hard. We're going to have to sit one or the other. You can't be in both. If you are, you're going to get absolutely screwed into the ground. So second time through, we'll see some of the adjustments coming our way. That's what I trust.
Awesome.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Head Coach Patty Gasso joining us here. Get set for the top of the 4th in a scoreless ball game. Your thoughts on what she had to say there?
Well, that's the name of the game, right? Everybody knows that, especially when you have somebody like Sarah Willis that has the velo that she does, going to top at 70, 71, and then going to come back with that just under 50-mile-an-hour changeup. It's so hard, and she's right, you can't hit both. So as a hitter, you've got to pick a pitch. Now, here's the difference, Eric. When you're behind in the count, you're in 2 strikes, you've got to get defensive. So you just have to figure out a way to get barrel on ball no matter what.
Coleman to lead it off against Willis here at the top of the 4th. This is a strike. Of course, you notice you heard Coach Gasso say it's hard.
Of course it is.
Which is a compliment
so
to Willis and how good. And she's not the first coach to have said that about Sarah Willis. 0-1 to count to Coleman. The pitch. It's in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. See Patty Gasso right there. 7-time national champion. Only Mike Condrea has won more national titles in Division I softball. Condrea with 8, Arizona legendary head coach. The 0-2 pitch. It's away, ball 1.
Look at some of the stats of Patty Gasso alone, and I think just the question that everybody is so keen on is, how did you do this? How did you build the dynasty that is the OU softball program? I mean, it's immaculate.
The 1-2 pitch. High to it. I know you asked her that yourself.
Yeah, and I asked her, did you ever expect to be in this position where you are? And she said, absolutely not. And I just think that it shows how much time, effort, energy she's put into the program, how she's surrounded herself with people who want the same and align with those same values and goals. And she's accomplished it, but she's in a league of her own.
2-2. Chopper to first. Doherty with the flip to first. Out is the call. Coleman called out. Ray was backing the play, was there at first base. And Coleman is retired for the second time. She's in the top 5 of the nation in on-base percentage, but is now 0 for 2 today. Although we might review this.
And you look at the bang-bang play. Shannon Doherty has to be the one to go get this ball. I love that Samantha Ruff, and obvious enough to overturn the call.
Both teams get 2 challenges on it. Samantha Ray is such a smart player. Well taught how to travel ball, part of that 16th ranked freshman class, part of the future of this program. So smart right there, and Coach Gasso challenging that play at first. And rightfully, look, it's a scoreless game, 4th inning here. You got to try to get something going.
Absolutely, and she's going to trust her players and listen to what they think and feel. And you saw Jada Coleman, and
let's take a look here.
The energy that she had too, just once she touched the bag, she thought she was safe. She felt like she beat it.
I think she's out.
I don't think they're going to overturn it for sure. I don't, but it was just the feeling that I think Coach was trusting.
Well, yeah, no, it's a fair challenge. Here's a good look here. Ball in the glove there, and the foot still not on the bag.
It's a bang-bang play, no doubt, and those calls in real time are so tough.
It's supposed to be conclusive to overturn a call. So we take another look. You're at the top of the 4th. But going back to Patty Gasso, the biggest compliment is look at Oklahoma softball prior to Patty Gasso. They only made 1 NCAA tournament appearance in the pre-Gasso run. Here's the ruling. It's pretty quick there. It's hustling there, and the call stands. Never seen the up actually run to make that call. Usually they kind of walk, so that's good. Clearly they've heard your criticism, Alex, of taking calls. This is you. This is all you, Alex.
Maybe they're watching the broadcast about how slow this review process has been, so maybe they're just trying to speed it up. Hey, I'm not going to be the one to complain about it.
Tom Meyer and a crew's like, you know, that power is over there in that booth. He keeps getting our case about how slow we are. We got to go quick. Now Jennings takes a strike, 0-1 the count. That was well efficient.
I'll take it. Progress, not perfection, baby.
0-1 the count to Jennings. Sarah Willis, senior. Jennings hits one to deep left field. That ball is gone. See ya. A solo home run for Tiari Jennings. Her 90th career home run, becoming the 8th Division I softball player. As she ties the great Stacy Newman for 7th place all-time with 90 home runs, and also ties her with 299 career RBIs, gives the Sooners a 1-0 lead.
And that pitch from Sarah Willis up and out of the zone, and right off the bat, Tiari Jennings knows that one's
here for Jennings. A milestone home run. She ties Stacy Newman for 6th place all-time in RBIs with 299. Her next RBI will be the 300th, will be the 6th player ever to reach 300 RBIs. But that home run 90 puts her in rarefied air as Pickering takes a strike. Jocelyn Allo is the home run record holder, 122. Carly Spade is 2nd from Miami of Ohio. As here's the last pitch on Pickering.
And what a beautiful changeup again coming back after that big. Willis just trying to minimize anything further from this offense. Good pitch.
That's a ball, 1-2 the count. Spade, who hit her 30th home run the other day for Miami, Ohio, leads the nation in homers. She's 2nd place all time. She's approaching 100. Lauren Chamberlain, 95, is 3rd place. Mia Davidson from Mississippi State with 92. Jessie Harper of Arizona with 92. Kat Maga of Arizona with 92. Stacy Newman with 90. And Tiari Jennings with 90. Pickering hits a comebacker to Willis, who will throw to first in time to retire Pickering for the 2nd out here in the 4th inning. But again, to your point, if you're Willis, that's going to happen. Oklahoma has hit a home run in 83% of their games. You're going to, but it's a solo shot. You didn't give up a runner on base. That's when Oklahoma gets those big innings. They just tip your cap to a great player like Jennings.
Absolutely, and that was just a good swing on a good pitch. It wasn't something over the heart of the plate, and Tiare Jennings just is that good of a hitter.
Hansen at the plate. Takes the ball 1-0 the count. Of course, Sooners seeing Willis now the second time through the batting order. You heard Coach Gasso talking to us and kind of the adjustments. 1-0 the count to Hansen. 2 outs here in the fourth. The 1-0 is missed there. 2-0. And again, it's just a fascinating atmosphere with Knight fans and Sooner fans. I mean, it's a lot of mixed crowds on every pitch. Intense environment. The 2-0 pitch. Ball 3, 3-0 the count to Hansen. Willis, who's been so good right now. Just trying to keep it to just that 1 run. You see Willis's breakdown there. 62% strike pitches thrown. 3-0. Taken all the way there. It's 3-1.
Kenzie Hansen is another hitter that's such a big threat in the box, too. So Sarah Willis trying to be selective as to what she offers Hansen.
Outside, ball 4. First walk allowed by Willis against the Sooner offense that's #1 in the country in walks. And it's Hansen with 2 outs here in the fourth. So after retiring the first 9 Sooners, Willis giving up the home run to Jennings and now the walk to Hansen with Ella Parker now to the plate. What are you seeing here adjustment-wise from the Sooners in this inning?
Well, UCF is still doing a great job. So nothing, astronomical. I think just Tiare Jennings, it was only a matter of time, right? She's a phenomenal hitter, so it's hard to keep somebody like her at bay time and time again. I mean, she was 0 for 5 going into that at bat, Eric. So again, that was a good pitch from Willis. Tiare is just a great hitter.
0-1 the count to Parker. That's low for a ball. 1-1 the count. There's Jennings right there. What a magnificent career. Certainly in the mix for National Player of the Year. Talking to JT Gasso, the hitting coach for the Sooners, who's been part of 7 World Series appearances, 5 national titles since being on the staff. 1-1. That's just in there for a strike. 1-2.
This is what I like from Sarah Willis. Again, just that no fear mentality. She's just going to continue to pound the zone, even pitches around the zone. She's going to say, so what? Somebody's got to score to win this ball game.
A ball and 2 strikes the count. Parker lines one to right. That will drop for a hit. Chloe Evans will barehand it. Gasso will send Hansen. The throw is wide as Hansen scores, and the Sooners extend the lead at 2-0 on the RBI hit by Ella Parker.
And the big 2-out knock here from the freshman Ella Parker. That one in the right center gap. Great piece of hitting on that pitch, especially hitting to a plan and sticking to what you do best.
Sydney Ball Malone coming out to talk to Willis. And I think kind of get her pumped up a little bit, calm her down a little bit. Of course, Coach Ball Malone handles the pitching staff, as she has for the U.S. national team the last couple of years. First was an assistant at Washington as a pitching coach under Heather Tarr, the greatest Pacific player of all time, 2-time All-American. You see Cochran warming up on the right, Ava Justman on the left. Caitlin Cochran, the righty, Justman, a lefty in the 4th inning. But I think Coach Ball Malone is feeling good about how Sarah's throwing. And I think it's like, hey, you're doing fine. You know, let's just get this out of the inning here.
Absolutely, just a couple of big swings, good swings. That one maybe a bit more preventable than the one from Jennings.
Brito at the plate. Takes a strike, 0-1.
Again, this is one of the top teams, if not the top team in the country, especially offensively. And look at the numbers they've put up all year long. And
well, Oklahoma hasn't been shut out since 2020, so that wasn't going to happen.
Right, and man, Eric, I mean, it's not even just this year, of course, right? The last couple of years, they're being held to 2 hits right now.
That's low for a ball. 1-1 the count. Well, that's the thing that makes Oklahoma, right? They can get to you mentally, psychologically.
Absolutely.
Ball and no strikes the count to Brito. That's a ball. 2-1 the count. Interesting. Of course, it tells you how good the Texas pitching staff is. They held Oklahoma to 1 run in those 2 victories. And the Longhorns won the series back in Austin. 2 balls and a strike to Brito. Fouls that pitch back. It's 2-2. Parker at second. It's officially an RBI double for Parker, who now has 41 RBIs on the season. Certainly going to be in that mix for Freshman of the Year nationally. Her and Pickering, along with Keegan Rothrock of Florida, the great pitcher. 2-2 the count. See, grounded to third. That's a fair ball. Cody, no, they're going to say foul. Went foul at the last moment. So Brito gets another chance, as Cody was fielding the ball there in third.
New life for Alyssa Brito, you wonder.
Right there.
Yep, Jada Cody could have just taken maybe one baby step, a big play, right, to get the third out of the inning.
Absolutely.
No more run production.
No doubt.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, though. It's easier on this side to say that.
Correct. 2-2 the count. Brito lines one to center, but Rowe is there, makes the catch, just retire the side. Sooners get 2 runs, highlighted by the 90th career home run from Tiare Jennings.
Tiare Jennings.
Bottom of the 4th, Knights coming to the plate, and we're joined by UCF head coach Cindy Ball Malone. And Coach, Sarah Willis just given up 2 hits against this Sooner offense through the first 4 innings. What are you seeing from Sarah?
Sarah's throwing a good game. We had a malfunction, and a wrong pitch was called on the home run, and I'll own that. And that's not an out just because Tiare Jennings is a great hitter. She deserves better than that to have that mistake happen, and I'm going to say that that occurred. So the other run, that's on us. We need to play better. We need to protect her because she's a dominant pitcher, and I think she's got the good enough stuff to beat this team.
Coach, what kind of adjustments do you want to see your offense make off of Deal in the circle?
I would say any adjustment would be good, but when runners get on, moving them over, or when we get a leadoff runner on, to move them over. And she's throwing us the same stuff outside. We need to drive the ball the other way.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Head coach Cindy Ball Malone joining us here in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Stormy Kotzelnick, Jada Cody, Chloe Evans to hit here against Deal in the bottom of the 4th.
Hey, just the making of adjustments, right? The timeliness of these at-bats is going to be crucial. We saw yesterday, Eric, you get people on, you've got to get them in motion. You've got to have better, more intelligent at-bats. And, I mean, I think that speaks for itself.
So Deal against Kotzelnick. So what adjustments do they have to make?
Well, right now, you know that Deal is an aggressive pitcher, but we saw it yesterday as well. UCF hitters are swinging out of the strike zone. Their plate discipline is maybe non-existent. That might be a little harsh, but it's not great. And I think that's what UCF needs to get back to, is working deep into counts, because that's when we started to see the adjustments yesterday in game 1.
2 balls and no strikes to count to Kotzelnick. You're in the bottom of the 4th. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Oklahoma. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for UCF. 2-0 pitch is missed. 3-0. trying to get something going here. Only down 2. Stormy with a 3-0 count here against Deal. That's high, ball 4, and a leadoff walk to Stormy here to start the home half of the 4th for the Knights.
And that could be a pivotal at bat, right? Just always getting yourself within one swing of the bat. Right now, you've got your game-tying hitter up in the box. Nobody else you would want in this situation other than Jada Cody.
Of course, the Knights now going through the second time in the order seeing Deal, too. We got more pooch picks coming in here.
Oh, look at sweet Moxie, a little boxer, Brendel boxer, love it. Maybe that could get UCF hitters going. Good little juju there.
Cody takes the strike, and it's 0-1 to count. Stormy Kotzelneck at first base. It's 4 steals on the year. Time call. Well, and I think you got the sense, Coach Paul Malone there in the frustration. You've talked about it, and she's talked about it. Adjust quicker. Gotta adjust quicker.
You have to.
Right?
You have to adjust quicker. Yesterday, it was in the 6th and 7th inning that we saw the UCF offense starting to make those changes, but right now, it has to be now, no later.
Can't wait till the end.
Correct.
Like they did that, yesterday, swung the bats well, but you've dug yourself a hole. It's tough to win that one. They're still in this year, down only 2 with runner on and Cody at the plate. 1-1 the count. Swings, hits a grounder to second. Hodge will flip to second for 1, throw to first. Safe. Cody will reach on the fielder's choice. And it's a runner on at first with 1 out, but they do get the lead runner out.
And this is just one of those at-bats. Again, you want to do something different here. I see Jada Cody trying to, what's the change that needs to be made?
Chloe Evans. Bunt single. Back in the 2nd inning. The strike. It's been the only Knights hit to this point against Kirsten Deal, who is growing before our very eyes. The #1 high school prospect in softball in her 2nd year. Won the Big 12 Pitcher of the Week this week. Is coming to her own. Could be the wild card on this staff. The swing and a miss there, 0-2. You know what you're getting from Maxwell. You know the veteran and Nicole May, but Deal could be the X factor that could put them over the top, perhaps, if they were to win a 4th straight national title.
Well, this is the depth right now that this OU pitching staff needs. She's that mix.
Chloe down in the count, 0-2. Checks into the 3rd. They'll go to first, Brito does, as Chloe Evans is retired 5-3 on the ground out. Cody advances to 2nd on the play, but there are 2 outs on the play. Cody talking to Avery Hodge. They were teammates on the U.S. national team this past fall. Hodge and Cody was. As now Griffin will come to the plate. Right-handed hitter. Flew out in her first at-bat. First pitch, ball 1. 1-0 the counts. What's that like when you're playing friends that you either played with in travel ball, high school, that you just know each other, but you're playing in a fierce game? Were you a talker to them, or you did not want to talk to them at all during the game?
Oh my gosh, no, of course you will. At least I would talk to them. Okay. I feel like I was never so, stiff where I wasn't having a good time. But yeah, I mean, there's a little good, banter back and forth. Yeah. Of course, you're talking a little trash, and you want to win. You want to beat them. I think that's the most fun part, is just that competitive spirit.
2 balls, no strikes. Griffin fouls it off down the right side, out of play. Count is 2-1. So 2-1 the count to Griffin. Knights trying to answer back after the Sooners scoring 2 runs in the top half of the 4th. On the solo homer by Jennings and the RBI double by Parker. And a strike there, it's 2-2.
And this pitch is where you want to be sitting too. If you're a hitter against Deal, just knowing that she's working different parts of the zone. She's changing velocities as well. You want something that's firm and over the middle of the plate. That was the pitch.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss as Griffin goes down on strikes. 3rd strikeout of the ball game for the sophomore Deal. and ends the night's threats. And she gets Griffin on the kick. There you see on the outfield. Look at that, Alex. A in-person pooch pick, checking it out from the outfield view.
Maybe somebody can relay the message so that she can bring that dog up in the booth and we can have a 2 for Eric.
Oh, I don't know. The security is pretty tight. Plus, that dog looked like it was taking a nap there. I think the dog relaxed.
It did look comfortable.
I don't think that dog wants to move.
What do they say? Never wake a sleeping baby, maybe never wake a sleeping pup.
First pitch to Cindy Sanders is low for a ball. 1-0 to count to Sanders. Followed by Hodge and Boone. Let sleeping dogs lie? Is that the cliche I just heard? There we go.
Maybe that's a majorism. I'm not sure.
Majorism. The 1-0. It's a ball. 2-0 to count. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Of course, Major Howe producing, directing. It's been fantastic to work with him this season alongside Lucas Rustrian, Avery Howe. It's great Big 12 Now staff. All the people working behind the scenes, the cameras. A 2-0 pitch. It's missed there 3-0. Don't worry, most of them will be back tomorrow. You and Alex and I will not. So just want to give my thanks. It's been a quick season, Alex.
It has. I feel like time flies and you're having fun.
That is definitely what we've done. Best we can. 3-0 the count to Sanders. It's a strike, and it's 3-1.
This is where Sarah Willis is so good, just throwing it in quite literally any count. The 3-0 pitch, just coming in with it.
The 3-1 pitch. There's a strike, and that's what makes Willis so good, right? She can throw that pitch on any count.
That's what's made her so successful and so effective. Yes, Eric, I mean, it's so hard as a hitter when you're ahead in the count. That's not necessarily the pitch you want to hit, right? Unless you are fully confident and have put in the practice to sit a changeup. Otherwise, you want to hit the hard stuff.
Payoff pitch. It's grounded to third. Cody is there. Will throw to first in time to retire Sanders for the first out here in the 5th inning. Kind of quickly reset the night defense with Burge at left, Janisha Rowe at center, Chloe Evans at right, Cody at third, Jazz Williams at short, Samantha Ray at second, Doherty at first, and Griffin catching. With Avery Hodge now stepping in. Lefty hitter. First pitch, low ball 1.
Sarah Willis staying around the zone, though, on these pitches, even the ones where she's missing and they're getting called balls, they're not agreeing on the zone. They're still believable enough and will be good when she's ahead in the count.
1-0. Missed there close. 2-0 the count for Sarah Willis, the senior. Who knows? This could be her last start here at the complex. We don't know what they'll do tomorrow. But what an impact she's made in the 2 years, Alex. And think of the growth that we've seen from her from last year when she was coming in relief and building that stamina to becoming one of the best pitchers in the country. So the 2-0 lined her right back to Willis, who makes the catch. And there's that exuberance and joy that she plays with. There's 2 outs.
This is where Sarah Willis, too, is just such an athlete. Making the line drive catch there looks so easy, so smooth. Multitude of capacities for this UCF team.
Riley Boone at the plate. Boone with a chopper over Doherty and past Ray and into right. And Boone quickly going to second. Evans throws to second and she's out. A dart thrown by Chloe Evans. Boone is arguing there is obstruction. And the umpires are going to talk about it. And are they going to give her this second base with obstruction? It looks like they are. So Boone gets on second. Now they can review if they want, if it's obstruction or not. Of course, it's discretion. Let's take a look if there is obstruction. Here's the play.
Riley Boone going to do a good job here utilizing the hard ground that is the infield. They're going to say obstruction right, one and the same, I think, in that capacity.
So runner at second 2 outs. Coleman now, they get flipped to go to the top of the order. See how they score that. It's Coleman against Willis. That's ball 1, 1-0 the count. I think they're still waiting. The question is, do you think Ray could have gotten to that ball? If you do, then that's going to be considered an error.
I do think so, and I think the thing that people at home need to know is, had that ball been kept in front of the fielders, the obstruction is in favor of the defensive player to make the play, but because it got past both Doherty and Samantha Ray, that's why obstruction was granted to Boone. So you see, as soon as this ball is going to get passed here and they have no play, and then this contact is made, obstruction call.
It's a game of margins. 1-1. Missed 2 and 1 the count. But you would rule that an error. You would rule it an error.
On the advancement, correct.
Yeah.
But we saw it yesterday, too. I mean, Jada Cody took advantage of an opportunity when Ella Parker was playing first base.
Yep.
Again, it's the newness and kind of just the immaturity of some of these athletes that are a little bit younger.
2-1 is missed here. It's 3-1. With Jennings on deck. Here in the top of the 5th, Willis trying to get out of this jam. Trailing just 2-0. The 3-1 pitch from Willis. Swing and a miss. Pulled the strings there on Coleman, and it's full. 3-2.
Another great pitch. It's Jada Coleman. That one just so nasty. The off-speed pitch. Jada Coleman struggling this afternoon so far here. And I think that aggression today is just causing her to swing at some of these pitches from Willis.
3-2. Gets a piece of it. Fouls it off. It'll be off into the near the Sooner dugout. Count remains 3-2. Sarah Willis, a senior, who hopes to be playing professionally beyond this, wants to be involved in sports. In fact, she even wants to do maybe some sports casting.
Can you blame her? I feel like we have all the fun.
Don't say that too loud to her there. You can only fit, I can fit you and her then if she wants to do 2 analysts. We could decide to add that in the budget. Payoff pitch. Coleman slices it foul to left field. Of course, another sold-out crowd here at the complex, and I think if this year's shown with the 6 sellouts is they need to renovate this stadium, because this place could have, we think there's probably 1,200 people at a minimum here, and you probably could have added more seats for a series like this against Oklahoma and Texas. The interest is there. UCF's in the top 30 in attendance the last 3 years, as well as capacity, top 20. Average attendance. We certainly hope as the Knights settle into the Big 12 that certainly the facilities upgrades occur to this program that deserves it. Here's a flip to first from Ray to Doherty to retire the side. We are going to the bottom of the 5th. The senior, Shannon Doherty. Welcome back. We got more pooch picks here with Snoop Dogg, the dog coming in here on a photo. As I am distracted because former Knight Elise Volpe has just walked into the booth. Alex, so take it away on the pooch pick with Larry.
Look at little Larry there. Oh, he looks like maybe an older pup. I'm not so sure, but cute nonetheless. All of our furry friends, thank you guys so much for participating in our pooch picks. And then look here at Athena in her costume. The cutest little bumblebee that there ever was. Keep sending them in, y'all. Oh my goodness, look at Bam here. He looks like he's having a good old time. Is this at the field? I don't know, maybe not.
It looks like it's on the field, doesn't it?
Maybe.
Thank you, partner, for taking care of me there. I was occupied. Elise Volpe here in attendance, former Knight. Senior last year, so she knows she was the star of senior weekend last year. A little different this year with 11. Looking forward to catching up with her after the game. A lot of former Knights here in attendance, as they always are for senior weekend. Shannon Doherty, the senior, taking a strike, and it's 1-1 the count. Knights, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Oklahoma. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Knights here. They're in this game at the bottom of the 5th, but they got to get something going offensively.
Well, you got to score to win, right? So right now, that big old goose egg on the board is what's needing to be changed. Somebody's got to be the one to make the swing, hit the ball.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Doherty is the last pitch.
That's where it's going to be so important for these UCF hitters to try to stay in their zone, get something around the strike zone, that plate discipline that we talk so much about.
1-2. Doherty hits a pop-up in the infield. Hodge will make the catch, and Doherty's retired for the first out here in the 5th inning. What's made Deal so effective here?
Well, she's stayed around the zone, I think, enough, right, to get the swings and misses and swings out of the zone from this UCF offense. But that's what she's been the best at. I wouldn't even say it's her mixing speeds or anything like that. It's just been the pitches that are close enough to look good out of the hand. That's why she's been effective in the circle.
It's been effective here, economical 56 pitches. Delivers a strike to Samantha Ray. First, the Knights 28-19, 36 in the RPI coming into today. Of course, they have top 50 wins, over 2 wins over Texas Tech, 2 wins over Kansas, a win against FAU, a win against Liberty, but certainly still need some work to be done to feel good about making a 4th straight NCAA tournament. They're currently in 6th in the Big 12 in the standings. Schedule strength in the top 20. Of course, UCF will be on the road next weekend against Iowa State, who's in the 80s RPI as Ray pops it up on top of us. That ball is literally right on top of us. It's bouncing towards Alex's power side, but it goes up. But look at Deal and where she ranks nationally. Of course, Najee Kennedy was phenomenal last night for Stanford in Seattle to get the win against Washington. Madia Groff of Southern Illinois. But there's Deal number 4 with Jayla Wright, who you've seen in person from Duke.
All pretty legit in the circle, if I do say so myself.
1-2. And Deal adds to that with a strikeout of Ray for the 2nd out of the inning here in the 5th.
This is a great pitch, especially when you're ahead in the count like that. Something painted on the outside corner, down in the zone, that's just nearly after when you're running through the box.
Willis at the plate. Steps in here for the senior. But to finish the Thal Knights, 36, pretty good RPI number. That's probably going to be a 3 seed. Unless the Knights could get a win here. If they can get a win here today against Oklahoma or tomorrow, though, that will jump that RPI up. Likely going to maybe the Gainesville region or Tallahassee. Florida State is on fire right now. Blowing out Florida, a big midweek win in Gainesville, 12-2. What, scored 12 runs in the 5th?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Talk about adjustments, though, right? Like, that's what we're hearing. The theme of this weekend so far is wanting to see these hitters make those adjustments. I feel like Florida State did do a good job of that last week.
Quietly on top of the ACC.
Correct.
Just quietly. I haven't really, you know, Florida having a good year with Tim Mullen. Once again, another strong year in the state of Florida. The 2-0 pitch. It's a strike. Willis 2-1. That's what made the 2022 year so unique. Because UCF hosted, as did Florida and Florida State. First time ever the three host in the state in softball.
I know, how cool is that too, right?
Incredible talent. 2 balls and a strike. That's outside. Of course, we're seeing what Jordan Clark's doing in her 2nd year at FAU. They're on top of the American. Ken Erickson in South Florida. They're in the mix for the NCAA tournament this year. So it's another strong year deep in the state. But the Knights hoping to get some wins here down the stretch and not have to sweat it out on Selection Sunday. A lot of work to be done. 3 balls and a strike. Willis grounds to short. Oh, what a play by Jennings. Throws to first to retire the side. Jari Jennings looks like the vet there at shortstop. Taking it over for Grace Lyons, doing a nice job. As the Knights hit to the top of the 6th, Patty Gasso trying to get her 1,500th win of her career, and it's been a great pitching match between Kirsten Deal for Oklahoma and Sarah Willis for the Knights.
It's been a phenomenal pitching match on both sides of the field. A couple of timely hits from this OU offense has really been the difference maker. And I'm excited to see what we can do, Eric, the next 2 innings, because we've seen some great adjustments so far, and one of the biggest adjustments coming from this girl right here in the box, Tiare Jennings.
Tiare Jennings, who hit the milestone in the 4th inning, a 1-out solo homer, her 90th career home run. The 8th Division I softball player to ever reach 90 home runs in a career. What goes through your mind? I mean, you were a great player here. I think you hit, what, 40-something in your career? Something like that?
30-something.
30. Yeah, I was trying to pump it up.
Yeah, pump me up. No, remember, I was a doubles girl. I just had some power every so often. I don't know. I can't imagine, right? Obviously, I've never been there, but I'm a fan of the game, and somebody like Tiare Jennings and the other hitters that have kind of been similar to some of what she's accomplished. I mean, we talk about Patty Gasso being in a league of their own, but what these athletes are able to do as well is just so impressive. It's, to me, such a compliment to their body of work because it's a career thing, right? It's not just one great season.
1-1. Jennings gets under it, hits a fly ball to right center. Rhodes under it, makes the catch. Jennings retired for the first out here in the 6th. Here's the milestone home run, the 90th of her career.
Well, right off the bat, too, Jennings knew that one was gone, but I guess when you've hit 89 of them before that.
You know how they look.
Yeah, you know how they feel, you know how they look. I don't know,
That's fair.
Just guessing.
Pickering at the plate, taking a ball. She's tied with Stacy Newman, who's one of the greatest players all time, Olympian, now the head coach at San Diego State with 90 home runs. Tied for 7th place all time in Division I softball history. And who knows, with a big push here in the next month, has a chance to maybe get near that top 2. They're trying to chase down Carly Spade of Miami, Ohio, who hit the first home run at Love Field when Miami, Ohio played Oklahoma.
You are just Mr. Encyclopedia over here.
But it helped I had her on my podcast recently on the Circle on
okay.
D1 softball. Carly Spade, we talked about that.
That's amazing.
Pickering at the plate. 1 out. There's a ball. It was 1 year ago this weekend, Alex, that Sarah Willis made history, throwing the first ever pitcher to throw a 7-inning perfect game against Houston on a Friday night. Perfect game, a perfect night, as it was called. They'd have had two other perfect games, but there were 5 innings. Sarah Willis joined that list, a 7-inning perfect game against Houston last year. A year ago today. It was on a Friday night. 3-0 the count. There's a strike. It's 3-1 the count, which was also, ironically, the last broadcast that I had with Francesca Nan.
Oh.
That was her last broadcast with us. In fact, Jessica Burrows came in out of the bullpen, finished that series off. Your old teammate, your friend.
That's awesome.
But that was Fran, of course, now in coaching with Florida. Hall of Famer Francesca Nan got inducted. He's going to be inducted October into the Florida Hall of Fame. As Pickering draws a walk with 1 out here in the 6th.
This is what we don't want to do, right? We saw the stats yesterday with what this OU offense can put together when they box the freebies. I feel like come back to haunt OU opponents more often than not. Would you say, Eric, yesterday? 37% of the time?
37% of the times when Oklahoma runners reached on a walk, they'd end up scoring.
National average is 27. So, yep, OU just, again.
In the 4 losses this year, though, Oklahoma's only scored 2 runs off 17 walks in the 4 losses. The loss to Louisiana, the loss to Tula to Texas, and the 1 to BYU. We got a pinch runner for the Sooners. Hannah Core pinch running with Hansen coming to the plate. The only reason I bring up Fran is her older sister played at Oklahoma.
Yep. Again, the world of softball is so connected, so small.
So Hansen at the plate with Core at first base here in the 6th. Sooners trying to add some insurance here, leading 2-0. Willis. And what a milestone for Willis. Paisha Simmons, a former Knight, their second year in 03, and Taylor Sawyer were the other Knights pitchers to throw perfect games. That was 5 innings in 03. That was at the old complex, which was next to John Giuliano Park 20-some years ago. And no, I was not around. I did not. There was no broadcast back then.
You read my mind. I know. We were doing the math yesterday about how long you'd been calling games, Eric.
It's a strike, 0-2.
He started for UCF in 07.
Last pitch here from Willis to Hansen.
Another changeup just going to float through the zone. Sarah Willis still going to that pitch. So predominantly in these at-bats, not giving up. That no quit in that fight from Willis is one of the things that Coach Bear loves the most about her. You can't teach that competitive spirit, and as Coach would like to say, just that dog.
The 0-2 from Willis. Grounded to second. Ray will flip to second for one. They'll get the force out. This core is retired. Hansen will reach on the fielder's choice. There's 2 outs here in the 6th. But Willis is giving him a chance here. Keep him in it. But can they solve the Kirsten Deal riddle? Remains to be seen. Ella Parker, who had that RBI double in the 4th inning. City Bullets got to be pleased with their pitching. They've held every opponent in the Big 12 that they've played. They've played a ton of offensive teams. There's 7 Big 12 teams in the top 50 in hitting, runs scored. And UCF's held all of them below their averages, except for Texas Tech when they played in Lubbock, but the Knights won that series in an offensive shootout against their former coach Craig Snyder and the Red Raiders.
I think Coach Ball Malone has to be really pleased with her pitching staff, like you said, Eric, holding some really great offenses to minimal run productions and giving her team a chance to come back and win. Everybody knows you got to score to win, and UCF still with the 0 on the board is, I think, proving to be their main holdup, because right now their success is definitely in the circle.
Well, and I think you would agree. You've covered now Coach Ball Malone since 2021. What she's done here at UCF, obviously her involvement with the U.S. national team. I think she's one of the best pitching minds in the sport and one of the best head coaches. And really, when you think of the young head coach, she's still young. The future is bright. When you talk about the young, fresh coaches of the next decade or so, I think Coach Bo Malone's name is on that list. As Hansen goes, Griffin throws. I think I don't know if Griffin was caught off guard or not, but Hansen gets the steal. He gets on base, score position with 2 out.
Well, I think what we're starting to see potentially is some picking up of the changeup. So right out of the Kinsey Hansen putting herself in a position, a base knock can score another run for this Sooner team.
The 2-1 pitch to Parker. There's a ball, of course. Coach Ball Malone's done here. 3 NCAA tournaments, couple of conference titles, 3 40-win seasons, which never happened in this program before. And of course, that regional championship in 2022 is a national seed hosting. 3 balls and a strike. That's high, ball 4 and a walk to Parker. And it's 2 on, 2 out here for the Sooners, who are trying to get a 2-out rally going. That'll bring up Alyssa Brito to the plate.
Now batting the third baseman, number 33, Alyssa Brito.
Sarah Willis getting a little deeper into this pitch count right now, just at 93 pitches. I want to see her start just kind of trying to go back to where she was in the beginning of this ball game, attacking the zone early in at bats, not letting these hitters get into 3-ball counts.
First pitch from Willis to Brito. It's jam, pops the first. Doherty's there to make the catch and retire the side. Willis is through 6. Has just given up 2 hits. Busy weekend here on campus with baseball and softball. Baseball play tonight at 6. And then tomorrow on Sunday, you got Oklahoma UCF, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPNU. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill will have the broadcast. Go watch on ESPNU as well as on ESPN app. And then Cincinnati and UCF baseball, game 3 at 1 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Mark Daniels and Steven Branca will have the call there. Cincinnati won game 1 last night, 9-4. Game 2 of that series tonight at 6 with Mark Daniels and Steven Branca. Here we've got a good one right now. 2-0 lead for the Sooners. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Oklahoma. UCF no runs, 1 hit, 1 error. An old school pitcher's duel between Kirsten Deal and Sarah Willis. As Deal will face Jasmine Williams to lead it off here for the Knights here at the bottom of the 6th. Hannah Kaur, who pinch ran, stays in the game and is in left field for the Sooners. Taking over for Pickering.
Eric, I feel like the softball and baseball gods knew that we had some good games going on. The sky has really cleared up. The sun is now shining, thankfully. Of course, there's the baseball game later today, I guess. Helps.
Williams pops it up, foul. It will go out of range. Or no, not out of range. As Sanders says it's not out of my range. She makes it over the shoulder catch. Made that look nonchalant. Wow.
Sydney Sanders did. She just was super quiet in this. Just look at how she got a good break, immediately going straight back. The over sometimes get you a little off-centered with your footwork too. Again, maybe just speaking from experience a time or two.
So Aubrey Evans is going to pinch hit here for Katie Burge in the leadoff spot. Coach Malone's trying to find some answers here, Alex. It's late, getting late here. Bottom of the 6th, only down 2. To try to give some different looks to Kirsten Deal. The thing about Coach Malone, if you follow her and how she coaches, there's no card she won't leave unturned.
Well, and Aubrey Evans is almost an everyday player for this UCF lineup as well. So her coming into this game is not like she's just your typical pinch hitter, too. She's somebody that has borderline everyday playing experience, too. So I think it's a good move.
Takes eye ball 1-1 the count. The question is, how do they get something here against Deal? They've only had the bun single by Chloe Evans.
I think we've talked about this a couple of times of just trying to be better at their plate discipline. Right now, they've swung at a lot of pitches out of the zone. Talk from Coach Gasso, right, about her hitters wanting them to have their plan and stick to the pitch because you can't hit both. I feel like the same goes for UCF against Kirsten Deal, who's doing a good job staying around the zone, but UCF's not making her go over the plate.
Winds picked up here, been swirling between 15-20 miles all day. The 1-2, Evans takes high, ball 2. 2-2, count to Aubrey Evans. Of course, her dad, her family here. Many of them have provided the food. They tailgate over there in the left field, Alex. They've provided you with many of the food this year.
I know. I should thank them for single-handedly making sure that I'm fed every day, or at least every day there's a game.
Evans pops it up. And, ooh, Sanders and Hodge, a little lack of communication there. Sanders like, hey, look, I've got it, all right? I got you. Makes the catch, 2 gone.
I think they were both calling for it. You saw both their arms kind of go up, and then Sydney Sanders just being a...
Nicole May was warming up earlier. Right now, everybody's sitting down. But Nicole May, the senior, was warming up earlier, so in case Deal gets in some trouble. But she's been masterful, this sophomore. I think the future, you wonder, of course, with Maxwell a senior and May a senior, if you look ahead from an Oklahoma perspective, when they go into the first year in the SEC, Kirsten Deal looks like will be part of their leaders there on the staff entering year 1 of the SEC.
Well, Kirsten Deal has been really good and really effective in the circle. Look at her pitch count here in the top left part of your screen, the strike to ball ratio. She's been efficient with her attacking the strike zone early in counts. And that's the thing too, right? Once you can attack and get ahead from the very first pitch, then you can start to widen the zone a little bit, expanding that strike zone. And that's when these UCF hitters have started to take the bait, swinging outside the zone when they're behind in the count by a strike. It's like that mental mind game of just the cat and mouse game back and forth.
Darmy takes a ball. Of course, this is the final year for Oklahoma in the Big 12. Them in Texas will move on to the SEC next year. In fact, this is the last road Big 12 series that Oklahoma will ever play in the Big 12. It's hard to believe. That's where we're at, is we're starting to hit some historical footnotes here. And what's going to be a fascinating Big 12 tournament in a couple of weeks. Of course, UCF, Houston, BYU new this year. Then next year, Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah will be added to the Big 12. And a very brand new looks college softball season next year. 2-0 the count. There's a strike. Cal and Stanford are going to be members of the ACC. Alex, you and Brittany McKinney, when you do your ACC podcast next year, you're going to talk Cal and Stanford.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting with the addition of those squads. For those of you, too, listening in, you might be able to hear the wind ripping through my microphone.
Ripped through our backdrop. Kotzelnick hits a fly ball. It's carrying a little bit, but it's going to stay on the field as Coleman makes the catch. And Kirsten Deal continues to deal. Retires the Knights once in order here in the 6th. We head to the 7th. Here at the complex at a sold-out Saturday. Sooners up 2.
Hey, Karen.
One more pooch picks for the year. Look at the pooch pick there. How do you hold 3 tennis balls inside the mouth? But that dog's been able to do that. Fantastic looking dog. We head to the top of the 7th. Sarah Willis, who's been magnificent. Face the Sooners here, Cindy Sanders. Top of the 7th. First pitch from Willis. Low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Cindy Sanders. Followed by Hodge and Boone, 8-7, 8-9 for Oklahoma. three-time defending national champions against the Knights. There's a pitch low. Of course, these two programs played in the 2022 Super Regional at Martina Hines Stadium. Sooners winning that Super Regional, Jocelyn Allo and company. Knights got a run on Jada Cody home run. They hadn't played other than that until this weekend. The 2-0 from Willis to Sanders. It's low 3-0, and Sarah Willis now falling behind Sanders. So look at that last pitch. A little low. It's counted 3-0. The 3-0 pitch from Willis against Sanders. It's a strike, and it's 3-1. Sanders, a .282 hitter this year with 13 homers and 42 RBIs. Look at the last pitch. Led the inside corner, got the strike that time. Washington came over to UCF last year. Two-way player. Worked on her craft as a pitcher. It's a 3-1. That's missed. Called a ball and a walk. Fourth walk of the game for Willis against this disciplined Oklahoma offense. Now, Riley Ludlam is going to pinch hit for the Sooners. It's Coach Patty Gasso coming out. So Riley Ludlam might be the pinch hitter, I should say. Actually, maybe not. It's actually going to be Alina Torres that's going to pinch hit. We got a pinch runner for Oklahoma. Quincy Lilio. So Lilio's the pinch runner. They're going to go with Torres to hit. Alina Torres started last night at second base, coming in here to hit with runner at first and nobody out. Sooners trying to add some insurance here in the seventh. Torres went around for a strike, and it's 0-1.
And great job by Sarah Willis, just going right at the pinch hitter, knowing that they're coming in a little bit cold off the bench. Of course, they've got all the information, right? They've been watching the same game all afternoon, but trying to come in and make those same adjustments, and only one at bat is a hard thing to do.
0-1, low, ball 1, 1-1 the count. Look at the Willis pitch count here, Alex. What has stood out to you today about Sarah?
Well, I think one of the things that Sarah Willis should be most proud of is typically we see her get better as the game goes on. However, she was great starting in the first inning, and she wasted absolutely no time. We talk about the importance against a team like OU of how you just can't give away the freebies, right? And yesterday we saw UCF get off to the slower start, and that was the inning in that first that OU put on all that offensive pressure and then kind of quieted down for a bit. But again, UCF did a great job today responding. And that starts with Sarah Willis in the circle.
You set the tone, the senior, ahead of the count 1-2 here.
Yeah, I guess in summation, that's what I could have said. She set the tone really well.
I'm here for it. I know what you meant. Wow, that was called a ball. 2-2. Let's see where this missed.
Probably just a bit down in the zone. Looks like it was right at the knees. Griffin behind the dish, tried to job, but too far down.
2-2 pitch. Change, that's hit foul down the left field. Two the count here. Been standing room only. Normally, a lot of times, fans on the Saturday gets hot. They're like, hey, there's no shade, but everybody's having a good time, whether they're in the outfield or in the stands. Cheeseburger, what was it delivered today to us? Cheeseburger and
some cheeseburgers, some chips, and pickles. It was actually a bacon cheeseburger for anybody keeping score at home.
2-2. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout number 4 for Willis on the day as she gets Torres for the first out here in the 7th.
That's a great pitch from Sarah Willis, responding well after the leadoff walk there. That one going to be on the outside corner. Knowing, again, that Torres is coming in this game. No time going right after.
Now here's Boone to hit here. As again, Torres hit in the 8th spot for Hodge. And a swing and a miss here by Boone as Willis goes upstairs. And you mentioned it, she gets stronger as the game goes on. There's plenty of mileage there.
Well, she does. And one of the things that the Sooner offense does so well is stay in their strike zone. They're very disciplined offense. And for Sarah Willis to get them a little bit out of that plan, swinging at pitches that are well up and out of the zone, she's doing something right.
0-1. Outside for a ball. 1-1 now, the count to Boone. It's a pretty important at-bat here, because you flip the order now after this at-bat with Coleman and Jennings, top of the order for the Sooners, if you're Sarah Willis. So you try to give your team a chance, down 2 here in the 7th. For 1-1. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Willis ahead, 1-2. Sarah Willis out of California. Great travel ball organization out there in California. Delivers 1-2. Boone hits it to center, but right to Rowe, who makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. As the runner goes back. So runner at first, 2 outs for Jada Coleman will come to the play as Rowe makes the catch.
Now batting the center fielder, number 24, Jada Coleman.
So Coleman will hit with Lilio at first base. Coleman grounded out to 2nd in the 1st inning. Grounded out, hit to 1st. And then grounded out to 2nd in the 5th. First pitch from Willis. Delivers a strike and he gets ahead of Coleman 0-1.
This would be a huge at-bat here for Sarah Willis, trying to take that momentum back into the dugout. The offense up, looking to score a couple, but Jada Coleman has been quiet this afternoon, which is so uncharacteristic of her. So if Sarah Willis can get this last one, the juju could be in the UCF dugout.
The 0-1 is just missed, ball 1. 1-1 the count to Coleman.
You ever felt what the juju is like, Eric?
Yeah.
You know what that's like?
Do I look what it looks like?
Do you know what it feels like?
Oh, I know it. There's a pitch count on Willis. Strikes the ball. One pitch from Willis. And it's high, ball 2, 2-1 the count to Coleman. Willis was on a freshman on the Washington team in 2021 that played Oklahoma in the Super Regionals. A 2-1 pitch from Willis against Coleman, who was a freshman on that Sooner 21 team. Part of this historic senior class for the Sooners. Both of these programs with great senior classes. See Coach Ball Malone, and Becca Mueller was to her right. The hitting coach for the Knights was the Cal hitting coach last year when Cal was in the regionals in Norman. As Cal made the tournament for the first time in a few years. 2-2 the count. Willis. Corner, strike 3, frozen. Coleman goes down on strikes. As Sarah Willis, the senior, on this senior weekend, shuts the door on Coleman and the... You see the Knights fans who were standing in during the inning, trying to inspire these Knights players, and senior Jada Cody giving them that support on this sold-out crowd here on this senior weekend. As the Knights find themselves down 2-0 against the 3-time defending national champion Oklahoma Sooners. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Oklahoma. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for UCF. Cody to lead it off against Deal and takes ball 1. It's the heart of the order for the Knights. Cody, Chloe Evans, and Ashley Griffin against Deal.
This is a great part of this UCF lineup here, trying to put something together, string together a couple of good at-bats, get people on base. But Kirsten Deal for OU has been dealing.
Cody fouls it back. The legendary Jada Cody, what a career she's had. trying to spark something here. You see Chloe Evans, who drove in both nights' runs yesterday. Can they get to Kirsten Deal, who's been magnificent for the sophomore? The future of the Sooner program and the pitching staff. Perhaps the future is now with Deal. 1-1. Low 2-1. What's the approach here if you're the Knights hitters here in this bottom of the 7th?
If I'm UCF, this is potentially the last at-bat, right? So I'm just trying to get deep into counts. I want to be patient in my at-bat. I don't want to swing myself out of a situation, because that's been Deal's bread and butter this whole game. Is she'll get ahead, sure, but then she's going to work outside of the zone.
2-1. Cody hits the second. It gets through. Hodge and into right field, and Cody will reach to start the Knights home half of the 7th. That'll be an error on Hodge.
And Jada Cody putting this ball in play, kind of firm, but going to go right under the legs, what should be a routine play. Going to go right through the wickets there. That's a tough one, and one you know she wants back.
And so now Chloe Evans will step in. Nicole May is warming up in the Sooner bullpen. With Chloe Evans now, who has the only hit. There's her aunt and her dad making the trip from the Midwest. Wisconsin senior, Chloe Evans. Takes a strike, 0-1.
We've seen a lot of errors, too, I feel like, this weekend. I mean, again, very uncharacteristic for both teams. Some of the best defenses in the country.
Well, we've seen some hard hit balls from both sides. I think it's played a factor in that. Chloe hits one to the right side. They're going to go to second for one, and they'll get the force out. A nice job there by Sanders. Chloe reaches on the fielder's choice, 1 out.
Sydney Sanders going to do the backhanded grab there, going with the leadoff out. That's a right move there as well, because you've got Hodge behind you.
When you're playing Oklahoma, it turns into a physical softball game. And what I mean by that is there's going to be hard hit balls by Oklahoma. They're going to hit hard hit balls, but you respond with hitting hard balls to it. And I think that's why we've seen some of the defensive errors, if you call it, because I think this has been a bit of, quote, a physical softball game.
I agree. I mean, yeah, you can hit balls hard all day long, but I do think both coaches expect a lot out of their defense. They expect them to make the plays, right? Because they are considered still the routine ones, even though they're hit firm.
Kennedy Searcy pinch hitting here. The senior from Jacksonville swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Kennedy, one of the 11 seniors, one of the many that were part of that 2022 Knights team that played Oklahoma in the Super Regionals. Gets her number called here, hitting for Griffin in the 5 spot. With Shannon Doherty on deck, who may have a chance to hit here. 0-1 to count to Kennedy. That's in the dirt. Good block by Hansen, who's the reigning Johnny Bench Award winner, one of the best catchers in the country. Healthy this year. Been battling some injuries. Healthy, of course, Kennedy's dealt with some injuries herself this year. It's limited her in her game action. In fact, actually, Sona is the one that's on deck. The other senior, perhaps a pitch hit. Kennedy grounds, ball hit Chloe, looked like, on her foot. And so that is going to be an automatic out as Chloe Evans is out as the ball hit her. It'll be a runner at first, and Coach Paul Malone just looks up at the sky and will go talk to the umpire, but it's like, you got to be kidding me.
It's such a tough play, but you've got to run with your head up when you're on. Tough play.
So 2 outs, runner at first. Sona Halahan will pinch hit here. More of a power hitter. The Cal transfer will pinch hit here. With Kennedy at first and 2 outs. Sona represents the tying run. Right-handed hitter against the lefty Deal. First pitch swing and a miss. The Knights are an out away from their 20th loss of the season, but their 15th. That'll be by 2 runs or less, and it would be their 10th loss in the Big 12 by 2 runs or less if they don't come back here. The 0-1. Sona hits a high fly ball, deep left field, back at the wall. It's off the wall. Searcy's going to score. It's an RBI double by Sona. It's 2-1 Oklahoma as Sona delivers with a pinch hit RBI double that just missed being a tying home run.
And Sona Halajan with a huge swing. You see that pitch right over the middle of the plate, but the wind carrying out to left field, just going to continue to drift for Halajan. That's a big swing.
Core there at left, leap for it. It just stayed in. If that ball is out of the park, it's a tie game. As it is, it's a double. And oh my goodness. Alex, I feel like we're seeing the season, the UCF season in a nutshell here. Playing to the right there against the best teams in the sport. They're right there, and it's just a game of margins, inches. But a clutch hit for Sona to make it a 2-1 game. We got a 1-run game, tying run at second. Here's another look, Alex. How close did this get with Core jumping up?
So close. I was like almost standing it myself over here in the booth.
By the way, backing the play up, because that keeps Sona at second. Otherwise, you could have a runner at third, the tying run.
Absolutely.
So what move is Coach Paul Malone going to make? They're going to go to the bench here. And it looks like Sierra Humphreys is going to pinch hit here. The young freshman from California will pinch hit here for Samantha Ray. Will they pinch run for Sona will be an interesting question, but Humphreys in a 2-1 game here in a thriller. Tonight's trying to come back. There is the pinch runner. Samantha Del Hoyo will pinch run for Sona. So it's going to come down to the freshmen for the Knights. Here in the bottom of the 7th. Everybody on their feet. What a game. This is more of what we expected, Alex, here in this one. The Knights and the Sooners. This is a game that thousands were here. Millions will say they were here 10 years from now when they watch this game. So Humphreys, the senior freshman from Corona, California, steps in with the runner at second, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th in a 2-1 game. The first pitch from Deal is a strike, 0-1 to Humphreys. What is her mom thinking? The 3-time national champion at Arizona, Krista Humphreys, thinking as she watches her daughter here.
She better get the job done. That's what I'm
what
thinking.
With
how
right?
competitive I heard that they are. Yeah, that's what I would be thinking if I was her mom.
The 0-1. Outside, ball 1 to Humphreys.
But here's the thing. I feel like what I would typically say is if you're Coach Paul Malone playing against the #1, #2 team in the country, NOU, you're really happy to be in this moment. The opportunity to win the game with one swing of the bat. But she's been here so many times, so she just wants to see it finally get executed.
1-1. High, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Sierra Humphreys. If the game were to extend, Sarah Willis would hit. There's Patty Gasso, who's an out away from her 1,500th career win. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Deal dials it up upstairs and evens the count at 2-2.
And this is where Kirsten Deal has made her living all day long. That pitch well up and out of the zone, but the UCF hitter has fallen victim to it.
Everybody on the feet. Whether you're Knight Sooner here, big one. 2-2 the count. Humphreys up the middle. Jennings is there. Will throw to first and is in time. They get Humphreys out, and the Sooners survive and hold on to beat UCF 2-1 in a thriller. Patty Gasso wins her 1,500th game of her legendary career at Oklahoma, becoming the 3rd Division I head coach to win 1,500 games, joining Carol Hutchins of Michigan and Mike Kendre of Arizona. A milestone win for Gasso, but boy, they had to earn it as the Knights made a late push here and got the tying run at second with the winning run at the plate.
A lot to be proud of. If you're UCF, you came back, you fought, you did as much as you could in those moments when your number was called, but OU continues to just be dominant. Patty Gasso building a dynasty and legacy program. She's somebody that is just continuing to change the game, so congrats, Coach. 1,500 wins. That doesn't come easy.
No, I guess a UCF team, a heartbreaking, a one-loss, their 10th one-run loss of the season, but boy, they showed why this is a team that if they make